Hey everyone, welcome to Flight from Death by Yasmin Gallonhorn, Chapter 6, Part 1. I think the last we left off, there was a flying skillet and a blobby ghost that told everyone to get out. So let's see what happens. Bloody hell! Alex had lightning quick reflexes and was on his feet before the rest of us. What the hell was that? Ralph groaned, rubbing the back of his head, but then he scrambled for the camera. Oh, please, don't let it be broken. Wait, hold on. Okay, just double checking something. Patrick gave me a hand, and I accepted gratefully. I wasn't hurt, but the startlement of being run down by a ghostly renegade had dazed me slightly. I brushed myself off and shook my head. Well, that was fun. Not. Patrick offered me a chair and then slid into one next to me. Is that my ghost? Is that Nathan? What does he want? Why is he so pissed at me? I didn't mean to make that voice, but it just worked out that way. All questions that we hoped to answer in due time. Alex picked up the EVP and brought it over to the desk. Ralph, satisfied the camera was still working, joined us. I've dealt with a few ghosts before, but I will tell you right now, whatever that was, I don't think it was your friend Nathan. In fact, I don't know if that's a ghost at all. Demon? Alex asked. I know that demons exist. I've seen a few of them over the years. No, I don't think it's a demon. But I'm not sure what the hell it is, Ralph frowned. I'm not saying that Nathan isn't around, but I don't think that was him. We need to know more about this house, including what was on the land before it was built and who owned it before Nathan. That I can't help you with, Patrick frowned. However, the town has a directory of historical houses. They keep pretty good records on the history of the area. You and Shimmer can go there in the morning. You'll find it at the Port Townsend Historical League's offices. How do you buy a house and not know its history? I'm obsessive about those things. You need to know when it was built and if people have been murdered there. It's very important. You should not move into a house where people have been murdered. Check. We'll do that first thing. Do you know when they open? We'll need the address. That's what Google is for, my friend. I glanced at the clock. It was a modified digital clock, not only giving the time in regular format, but it also had the hours listed in military time. Why do we care? There was a date indicator on it, as well as when to expect the sunrise and sunset. Did you make that? No, I mean, you can totally buy clocks like that. Just go on Amazon. Patrick shook his head. I got some pretty clever friends. I commissioned it from one of my mechanically minded buddies. What the fuck? He brought up a browser on the computer. I'll look up the info you need. As Patrick tapped away at the keys, Alex wandered over beneath the clock and stared up at it, a bemused look on his face. Ralph, can you make me one of those? Or rather two? They would be handy to have around the office as well. Ralph shrugged. Should be a piece of cake. I'll do it next weekend. Found it. Patrick scribbled down the address listed on the browser. The Historical League opens at 10 a.m. and they close at 4. Is there anything else we need to do before getting to bed? Ralph glanced over at me. Besides getting you to a swimming hole? I thought for a moment, then shook my head. Not that I can think of. I prefer to get into the water before much longer. It's already 2 a.m., and I don't want to be seen changing into my dragon form. I'll do that in the water, but it's much better if I go now. Do you mind, Alex? I tried to keep the eagerness out of my voice, but it was no use. Alex smiled softly. I think you can make time. While Ralph keeps up work here, I'll take you to the beach. Then I'll return and help Ralph until it's time to pick you up again. Thank you. I'm going to go get into my swimsuit. I can change form with my regular clothes on, but I would rather not. It's a quirk I have. So does she have to go every night? They didn't tell us this earlier. I dashed up the stairs to the main floor, then up to my room. As I entered the bedroom, I paused. The dresser had been mighty unfriendly, and I had no clue if whatever it was I had been playing with the drawers was the same thing we'd encountered in the basement. If you're around, just back off while I change, please. While challenging a ghost, or whatever it was, didn't seem like the brightest of ideas, I felt like I had to say something to acknowledge that we knew it was there and had gotten its message. I unzipped my luggage again and pulled out my swimsuit, quickly changing out of my jeans and tank top. As I slid on my suit, a pale violet one-piece meant for swimming more than sunbathing, I kept a close eye on the dresser, but the drawers remained shut. However, the entire time, I felt that there was something watching me. Yeah, the ghost is a bit of a perv. I rigged my hair into a high ponytail and then pulled on my jeans and top again over my suit. As I grabbed my jacket and tote bag, I glanced back at the room. I'd really like to know why you're here and what's making you so angry. We can't help you if you don't understand, and we want to help. As I hustled down the stairs, I tried to stay alert. We hadn't been hurt yet, but we'd been attacked, and that was enough reason to keep our eyes open. I wasn't looking forward to sleeping either, not with both Alex and Patrick out for the day. The others were in the living room, waiting for me. Patrick and Ralph were starting to set up cameras as Alex and I headed over to the Range Rover. The moment I stepped out of the door, I took a deep breath. It felt safer out here. As I shut the door and fastened my seatbelt, it occurred to me that whatever was in there, it wasn't going to want to leave, which meant that we were going to have to force it out. The route from Patrick's house to the lighthouse at Fort Worden was a simple one. Oh no, are we going to go through the streets again? Alex turned the way we had come on W Street, then left when we hit Fort Worden Way. Within a few minutes, we were on Harbor Defense Way, driving between the beach and the park. Are you serious? Is this necessary? Is this going to save them at the end? Do we care about the street name? Should have just put a freaking map in the front. The thought that I would be back in the water within minutes set my whole body to tingling. I opened the window and stuck my head out, closing my eyes as the tang of the saltwater breeze hit me. You really need this, don't you? Alex wasn't making fun of me. In fact, when I looked over at him, I could tell he was stone cold serious. He's a vampire. Isn't he always stone cold? How I crack myself up. Yes, I do. If someone wanted to torture me, they'd only have to keep me away from the water. It's part of my nature, Alex. Water dragons aren't just dragons who like to play in the water. The essence feeds and recharges us. The water calms us down when we're stressed and revs us up when we need energy. The waves are part of our nature, part of our soul, if you want to get transcendental. He gave a little nod. I'll make certain you get out as often as you can. Puget Sound isn't exactly open ocean, but the water comes from the Pacific, and there's plenty of places deep enough for you to swim. I don't think I realized how much this means to you. I suppose I never thought about it, really. Typical. Touched by his concern, I let out my guard for once. Thank you so very much. And don't beat yourself up. There's no reason why you should have thought about it. It's not like you've been hanging around blue dragons a lot. I'm still boggled by the fact that the Winglish is buddies with the vampire. You know what they say about strange bedfellows. Only take the bed out of the equation. I don't swing that way. He laughed then, lightening the mood. I met Lord Vine many years ago when I was on the safari. I told you I traveled the world. Well, I was high in the Alps. It's foolhardy for a vampire to go out where he might not find shelter during the day, but I was with a friend who understood my nature. He saw to it that I was protected during the daylight hours. You met the Winglish in the Swiss Alps? That made sense in an odd sort of way. I did. I'm not sure why he was there. He told me at the time, but I can't remember now. We were in a remote area, and one evening I happened to see him fly down into the valley and land. We were close enough that I was able to hike it over to where he was before he left. He very politely decided to leave me alive, and we got to talking. After that, well, we've stayed in touch over the years. Alex drove to the end of Harbor Defense Way, past several campsites. 2 lone RVs were parked in the camping areas, but there were no lights, and no one appeared to be up and about. I stepped out of the car, and Alex walked around to stand beside me. I pointed to the lighthouse. You'll have to walk around the lighthouse out to the furthest point. That's where the deepest water will be. You can try to cut through it, but they'll catch you. You'll be booted. The lighthouse is off limits. The good thing is that nobody else seems to be up and wandering around at this time. I shimmied out of my jeans and top, tossing them in the back. I'm leaving my tote bag with you. I don't dare take it into the water with me. I don't trust leaving it on the shore. So how long do I get? The wind gusted past and I shivered, just a touch. I was used to the chill. It didn't bother me so much as tease my skin. Like, considering the sun rises at around 7:20 and it's 2:30 now, how about I meet you right here in 3.5 hours? I know that's not long, but I can come back before we leave, and that's plenty long for a quick dip. I paused and then darted forward to press my lips to his cheek. Alex, I really appreciate this. And then before he could answer, I headed toward the perimeter of the lighthouse fence, toward the beach. Though I didn't look back, I knew Alex waited until I vanished from sight. Okay. I don't think I'm going to continue reading the rest of this chapter because it looks like it goes on much longer. So we'll just have to wait for next week to see what she's like in dragon form. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and until next time.